This is a video with my quick initial impressions of the iPad 2. I picked up the iPad 2 yesterday. Now let me first start by saying that I never really intended to buy the iPad 2 right away. I was going to wait a month or two because I didn't really want to wait in long lines or have to camp out or anything like that. And the stores don't really have them in stock right now, so I was just going to wait. I've already sold my iPad 1 actually on eBay when this was announced. I think I got about $520 for it, so it was the 64 gigabyte AT&T 3G model. And so I could be without an iPad for a while, and it was not a big deal. But it just so happens that yesterday I was in Emeryville, California, near the Apple store there, and I saw people lining up around 10:15 in the morning. I was there for something totally unrelated, and so I said to myself, this can really only mean one thing: they've got the iPad 2 in stock. So I decided to go ahead and line up. I was about maybe 30th in line or something like that, and it turns out they have the one that I wanted in stock. It's the Verizon 64 gigabyte version. So this is it here, and I just want to leave my initial impressions of it for you. I'll do other videos later for different things that I buy for it, accessories and cases and whatever, but I just got this yesterday and I figured you might want to see my initial impressions of it. The first thing is I'm being very careful with it because there's no protection for the back metal. As you can see, I'm not even putting it on my metal table here. I've got a placemat. So, initially, because there aren't very many cases or skins or anything like that out for this yet, you're going to want to be really careful unless you don't care about scratching the metal back, which I'm sure Apple doesn't mind. Apple probably wants you to scratch the metal back and wants it to be kind of war-torn and rugged and all that kind of stuff. But on a $400 to $600 or $400 to $900 item, actually $500 to $900 item, you want it to retain, I think, a lot of its value so that you can resell it later when a new version comes out. And so, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be scratching up the back if I can help it anytime soon. So I'm being real careful until I get some cases in. I've got a couple of cases on order, and I plan to do video reviews of those. My intention at this point is to find a case where I can use the smart cover as well as an external case to protect my iPad, so that I don't have to take the smart cover off every time I want to put it in a case, and yet it'll still have some good protection when I store the iPad too, and also take it places. So make sure you're subscribed, and you'll get an alert for those review videos coming up shortly. I've got them on order, and the cases should be here later this week. So, my initial impressions of the iPad are quite good. It's definitely an improvement. It's certainly lighter and thinner, and it feels nicer in the hand. I really like the smart case and the way that, the smart cover, and the way that it, rolls over, which you've probably seen already. And then you can use it like this and type on it, if you're in a cafe or whatever, and doing some work. Or if you want to watch a video, you can go like that. You just flip it over and it just angles up. Now, of course, you're not seeing a video on the screen right now, but you could watch a video in that kind of a propping it up like that. So the case is a really neat design. I have to say, Apple, I think, did a pretty good job with that. I've been pretty critical of Apple's iPad 1 case because I thought the build quality on it pretty much sucked and it just felt icky. This feels a lot better. This is not the leather smart cover. They do make one in leather. This is the polypropylene one. The leather one is like $70 and this one is like $40. I still think they're a little bit too overpriced, but again, I do like the design quite a bit. It's quite functional and it works really well. One of the things I really do appreciate about it is the fact that you can just take it off. It's held on with magnets, so you can just pull right off. And that's nice because sometimes I like to use the iPad just like this, as is, without any case attached to it or anything. For instance, let's say you're playing a game, a driving game, where you have to hold the iPad and steer it like that. It's just so much nicer to just do it like this, bare, without having to have some kind of a bulky case attached to it permanently. Also, as you know, the iPad 2 has a camera on it too, on the back. See, there's a little hole right here, that's the camera. So, of course, if you have a case to it, it makes it a little bit more bulky, to use with, to do videoing, or to take a still when you're using the camera. Even with the smart case, smart cover attached, you can't really use it as a camera very easily. You could, but it's just a little bit more bulky. So I do appreciate the fact that Apple came up with a way to detach and attach the smart cover very easily. So I'll show you how it attaches. Again, I mentioned it's just magnets, so all you really have to do is sort of hover it over the side of the iPad and get close, and boom, it automatically goes with magnets and attaches, and it's perfectly aligned and everything. Really a cool design. And inside here, the part where it contacts your iPad, there's like little rubber pads. So it's not really like a metal on metal type of a situation. But as you can see, it's got a hinge and it can fold all the way back. So you're retaining some of the thinness of the iPad there. And you can also fold all the way forward. And as you've probably seen in many of the videos online that Apple has or other people have done on YouTube, it automatically, when you close it, it automatically senses that you're closing it and it turns off the iPad. So as you can see, if I open it, it automatically turns on. And I don't know if you can see in this video, but as I close it, it turns off. So, and then also I heard the the sleep wake sound. See? So that's a really ingenious design. It's got magnets also on this side too, to sort of keep it shut a little bit, so you can tell there's like a magnetic closure there. I would say it's a pretty worthy upgrade. Again, if you're already on an iPad 1 and you're not a real serious user of the iPad, it's probably not worth upgrading unless you want to sell your iPad 1 like I did and put that money towards the iPad 2. Then I would say go ahead and do it. I would also say if you're a serious iPad user and maybe a serious gamer on the iPad, it is definitely worth upgrading to the iPad 2 because it's faster. It's got a faster processor, and you will notice games like Infinity Blade do run and load much faster on the iPad 2. The other pluses obviously are it's quite a lot thinner and a bit lighter, so it just feels better in the hand too. So it's certainly a good upgrade in my opinion. But if you have an iPad that you use just for general browsing or emailing and stuff like that, it may not be worth upgrading to, in my opinion, at this time. You might want to wait for the iPad 3. I was sort of disappointed that this doesn't have the Retina display like the iPhone 4. The text is so much crisper with the Retina display. And I think if this had the Retina display, it would be a really, really good ebook reader, and I might even consider getting rid of my Amazon Kindle. But as it is right now, reading books on the Kindle is still a better experience than reading books on the iPad 2. It's just the text looks so much better and it's a lot more book-like, in my opinion. So I'm keeping my Amazon Kindle for that reason, and I still read books on the Kindle. Although I do use the iPad 2 quite a bit for reading news and things like that, and of course browsing the web and all the normal stuff that you do, email and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I just wanted to do this quick video of my initial impressions of it, the iPad 2, and make sure you're subscribed because I'll be doing more videos shortly. Thanks for watching, and any questions, comments, as always, please feel free to leave them below. And yeah, as you can see here, I've got my placemat, and I'm not even going to put this directly on the wood table because I don't want to scratch the back. If you're in the same position as me at this point where you don't have any other case other than the smart cover, one suggestion I do have when you're storing it is you might just store it upside down on the smart cover's front, like that. That way, you're not risking scratching the back. Anyway, just a quick suggestion. See you in my next video. Thanks for watching.